It all started when the cameras stopped rolling. The laughter faded, the lights dimmed, and what happened next, no one was supposed to see. Spice had been quiet for weeks, watching from a distance as rumors spread through Atlanta's tight-knit circle. But when whispers turned into lies, and friendships began to crack under pressure, she decided enough was enough. What really went down between Rasheeda and Yandy wasn't just another reality show spat. It was betrayal, secrets, and truth hidden behind perfectly edited smiles. For the first time, Spice breaks her silence. She's ready to tell the world what the producers tried to cut, what really happened that night. Because in love and hip-hop Atlanta, loyalty doesn't live long. And silence? That's just another word for survival. Atlanta was alive that night. Bright lights, loud music, and a room full of people who smiled for the cameras but whispered behind the scenes. It was supposed to be a celebration, another big love and hip-hop Atlanta event, filled with laughter, interviews, and reunion energy. But under all that sparkle, something darker was brewing, a quiet tension that even the producers hadn't planned for. Spice stood by the bar, her blue hair glowing under the soft neon light. She was laughing with Carly at first, but her eyes kept shifting toward the other side of the room, where Yandy and Rasheeda stood just a few feet apart, pretending everything was fine. To the untrained eye, it looked like friendship, but to Spice, it looked like the calm before a storm. For weeks, the energy between them had been off. They still posted together, smiled for pictures, but the warmth was gone. Yandy's eyes no longer lit up when Rasheeda entered the room. Rasheeda's tone had turned colder, more defensive. Spice had noticed it all, every side eye, every awkward silence. When Carly leaned closer and whispered, "Girl, you feel that tension too, right?" Spice just nodded. "Oh, I feel it. And it's about to explode." Moments later, the DJ switched the vibe. Slower R&B, dimmer lights, more intimacy. People started dancing, drinks kept flowing, and laughter filled the air again. But near the corner table, Yandy and Rasheeda were deep in conversation. Quiet at first, then tense enough that people started to notice. Mendices had arrived late, greeting everyone with his usual charm. But Rasheeda barely looked up. Yandy's smile vanished. Spice, watching from across the room, felt her stomach twist. And then, it happened. Yandy leaned forward, her voice sharp but controlled. "You could have at least called me before you told Spice what you said." Rasheeda crossed her arms. "Called you for what? You knew exactly what you were doing." The music seemed to fade around them. Two women, two versions of the truth. Spice slowly made her way closer, pretending to grab another drink, but really, she wanted to hear it for herself. Yandy's voice dropped. "If I did something wrong, tell me to my face. Don't run to everyone else first." Rasheeda laughed bitterly. "You always play innocent, Yandy. You talk about loyalty, but you only loyal when it benefits you." The words hit like a slap. Yandy blinked hard, her pride clashing with her pain. "You serious right now? After everything we've been through?" "Exactly," Rasheeda shot back. "After everything we've been through, I thought you'd be straight with me, not go behind my back and talk to Kirk about my business." The entire room shifted. A few heads turned. Spice froze, realizing she wasn't the only one listening anymore. Yandy's voice trembled, caught between anger and disbelief. "I didn't talk about you, Rasheeda. Kirk called me, he said you've been acting distant. I was trying to help." Rasheeda shook her head. "You don't help by putting yourself in my marriage, Yandy. You of all people should know that." That sentence hit deep, too deep. Everyone knew Yandy's history with Mendices, her fights, her heartbreaks, her loyalty. And now, Rasheeda had thrown it right back in her face. Spice finally stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "Ladies, not here. This ain't the place." But it was too late. Yandy stood up. "You know what, Rasheeda? I thought we were sisters. But clearly, you've been waiting for a reason to come for me." Rasheeda grabbed her clutch, her expression unreadable. "If telling the truth means I'm coming for you, then I guess that's what it is." With that, she walked out, cameras following, producers rushing to capture every second. The party, the laughter, the music, it all turned to static. Spice stood frozen, her glass trembling slightly in her hand. She'd seen drama before, she'd lived it. But something about this fight felt different. It wasn't about fame, or clout, or gossip. It was about betrayal. Later that night, As everyone started leaving, Spice found Yandy sitting alone in her car, tears glistening under the streetlights. "Yandy," she said softly, opening the door. "You okay?" Yandy looked up, wiping her face quickly.
"Yeah, I'm fine." But her voice cracked on the last word. Spice sighed and sat beside her.
"I know what it's like when you're heart-heavy.
"Talk to me."
Yandy took a deep breath, finally letting the words out.
"I didn't mean to hurt her, Spice."
"I was trying to help, but now it feels like everyone think I'm fake."
Spice looked at her with quiet understanding.
"People gonna talk, Yandy. But truth don't hide forever. You just gotta let it find its way out." Yandy nodded slowly, staring ahead.
"Yeah, but the truth got a price.
And I feel like I'm the only one paying it." Spice didn't respond right away. She knew some wounds didn't need words, they needed time. The night ended quietly, the streets of Atlanta buzzing outside while two women sat in silence, both knowing that what happened inside that party would change everything. Because the cameras might have missed the fight, but the fallout?
That was just beginning.
The next few days in Atlanta felt tense, like the whole city was holding its breath.
Social media was on fire.
Clips from the party had leaked. Yandy's voice raised, Rasheeda storming out, Spice standing between them. Fans didn't know what really happened, but that didn't stop the rumors. Rasheeda and Yandy aren't friends anymore. Spice witnessed the whole thing. Why isn't she saying anything? Kirk and Mendices might be involved.
It was chaos.
Blogs ran with every possible version of the story, twisting facts until even the truth felt like fiction. And through it all, Spice stayed silent. She'd been in this game long enough to know that sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. But this time, her silence wasn't about fear, it was about watching everything unfold, waiting for the right moment to speak. Because she knew things the cameras didn't catch.
Things no one wanted to say on record.
It was a Wednesday afternoon when Spice finally decided to break her silence. She was sitting in her home studio, candles lit, camera on, ready to go live. The chat was already flooding with comments before she even spoke. "You'll been asking what really happened," she began, her Jamaican accent wrapping around every word with raw emotion. "So let me tell you from the start." She paused, taking a slow breath. "That night, I saw two women I love losing each other over pride." The chat went wild. Everybody thinks it was just about gossip, but it wasn't.
It was about trust.
About things that started way before that party. She leaned forward, eyes sharp, voice steady. Rasheeda had been feeling like Yandy wasn't being real with her, that she was taking sides between her and Kirk.
And Yandy?
She felt like Rasheeda stopped seeing her as a sister and started seeing her as competition.
Spice shook her head.
But the truth is, neither of them were wrong. They were just hurting in different ways. Back at Yandy's house, her phone buzzed. It was Rasheeda's name lighting up her screen. Again. Yandy stared at it for a moment, but she didn't answer. Instead, she opened Instagram and saw Spice's live stream trending everywhere. Spice tells all about Rasheeda and Yandy drama. What the cameras didn't show, love and hip-hop ATL secrets exposed. Yandy hesitated, then clicked the video. As Spice spoke, Yandy's face softened. It wasn't gossip, it was honesty. Spice wasn't trying to stir drama. She was trying to bring understanding. Meanwhile, Rasheeda was watching the same live from her boutique. When Spice said, they both just needed to remember why they started calling each other sis in the first place. Rasheeda sighed, whispering under her breath, she's right. For the first time in weeks, both women stopped feeling angry and started feeling sad. Because the truth was simple, neither of them hated each other. They were just too hurt to talk. Later that night, Spice called them both, one after the other. Yandy, she said softly, I know your heart. I know you ain't mean no harm. But you gotta talk to Rasheeda. Not through blogs, not through producers, woman to woman. Yandy exhaled slowly. You think she'll even listen? Spice smiled. If she didn't care, she wouldn't have walked away angry. Anger comes from love. Hate comes from indifference. Then she called Rasheeda. Rasheeda, I know you strong, but strength don't mean silence. Talk to her before this turns into something neither of you can fix. Rasheeda hesitated. Spice, I just feel betrayed. I let her in my life, my home, my business. And then I find out she'd been having private talks with Kirk, about me. Spice's voice was firm. And did you ever ask her why? Or did you just assume she was coming for you?
Rasheeda didn't respond.
Listen, Spice continued, the Yandy I know don't move messy.
She moves loyal. Sometimes that loyalty gets misunderstood.
But if you don't clear it with her, other people gonna write the story for you. Those words hit deep.
Because that's exactly what was happening.
A few days later, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta producers called all three women in for a private meeting. No cameras, no scripts.
Just honesty.
When Yandy and Rasheeda walked into the room, neither said a word. Spice sat between them, hands folded, like a mediator. Before we start, Spice said calmly, I just want both of you to remember why y'all became friends in the first place.
It wasn't for followers or fame.
It was because you saw something real in each other.
Rasheeda looked at Yandy.
Her eyes were tired, but not cold. You really talked to Kirk about me.
Yandy nodded slowly. Yeah, but not how you think.
I was trying to help him understand you, because I saw you slipping away from each other. Rasheeda's eyes watered. You could have told me, Yandy. I would have understood.
Yandy's voice cracked. I didn't know how. I didn't want to cross that line.
For a moment, there was silence, heavy but healing.
Spice finally spoke.
You both too powerful to let a misunderstanding destroy something this deep. And just like that, Rasheeda reached across the table. I miss my friend. Yandy smiled through tears. I never stopped being your friend. Spice exhaled, smiling softly. Well, it looked like I ain't need to expose nothing after all. Y'all just needed the truth. They laughed through their tears, the tension melting like it was never there. That night, Spice posted a simple message on her Instagram story. When truth comes from love, it don't destroy, it heals.
And the internet went wild again.
But this time, it wasn't drama trending, it was forgiveness. Because sometimes, what the cameras don't show, is the only part that's real. The next morning, Atlanta woke up to a new kind of storm, not fueled by anger this time, but by curiosity. Clips of Rasheeda, Yandy, and Spice leaving the studio meeting were already trending. Paparazzi were shouting questions, microphones flashing like lightning. But this time, both women kept silent.
No comments. No drama. Just a quiet walk toward their cars.
The internet couldn't decide if they were still enemies, or finally making peace. But behind the scenes, something had shifted. That night, Yandy sat alone on her balcony, watching the Atlanta skyline glow. The city felt alive, but she didn't. She was tired, not from fame, not from filming, but from always being the strong one. She whispered to herself, why does love always turn into pain?
Her phone buzzed. It was Rasheeda. The message read, I saw what you said in that meeting. I felt that.
Maybe we can talk. No cameras, no producers.
Just us.
Yandy stared at the screen, then typed back.
I'd like that. I've missed my friend.
And for the first time in months, she smiled. The next day, Rasheeda and Yandy met at a quiet cafe in Buckhead, the same one where they used to laugh about business, music, and life before fame changed everything. When Yandy walked in, Rasheeda was already there, wearing a simple denim jacket, her phone face down on the table. Yandy sat across from her, nerves fluttering like butterflies.
Neither spoke for a moment. Then Rasheeda broke the silence.
I guess we forgot who we were, she said softly.
Yandy nodded.
We let the show write our story instead of writing it ourselves. They both laughed quietly, the tension slowly fading. I was hurt, Rasheeda admitted. Not because of the gossip, but because I felt replaced.
Like you stopped seeing me.
Yandy's eyes glistened. I never stopped seeing you. I just stopped knowing how to reach you. There it was, the truth, stripped of pride and pain. Meanwhile, Spice was scrolling through her phone at home, watching the online chatter spiral. Every blog had a headline. Spice saves the ATL sisterhood. Yandy and Rasheeda make up after emotional meeting. Behind the scenes, the real story of ATL reconciliation.
She shook her head, laughing softly.
Lord, they don't even know the half of it. Because what people didn't see was how close it had come to ending everything, the friendships, the trust, even the show itself. That fight at the party wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was the result of years of pressure, fame, money, relationships, betrayal, and exhaustion.
Spice had seen it all before.
The music industry had a way of turning love into competition and friendship into survival. But she also knew that women like Yandy and Rasheeda were built different. They had fire in them, but they also had hearts. Back at the cafe, Rasheeda reached across the table. You know what hurts the most, Yandy?
It's not what was said.
It's what wasn't.
Yandy nodded.
You mean how we stopped saying the things that mattered?
Exactly.
They sat quietly for a moment, then Yandy took a deep breath. Can I be real?
Rasheeda smiled.
You better be.
Yandy leaned forward.
When Kirk called me, he didn't come to gossip. He came to ask how to fix things with you. He said you were slipping away, and he didn't know how to reach you anymore.
Rasheeda froze.
Wait, Kirk said that.
Yandy nodded. Yeah.
But I didn't tell you because I didn't want to cross any boundaries. I thought if I gave him advice, it would help you two talk again.
Rasheeda's eyes welled up.
So, all this time, you were trying to help. Yandy nodded, tears threatening to fall. And instead, I made you think I betrayed you. For a long moment, neither said a word. Then Rasheeda reached over and grabbed her hand. Yandy, I'm sorry. I should have come to you first. I let my pride speak louder than my heart. Yandy smiled through tears. And I should have told you the truth sooner. I just didn't want to lose you. They both laughed softly, not the kind of laugh that comes from joy, but the kind that comes from release. By the time they walked out of that cafe, the sun was setting, casting golden light on the streets of Atlanta. They didn't notice the cameras hiding across the street, capturing the moment two women decided to rebuild instead of destroy. Later that night, Love and Hip Hop ATL producers called Spice. Spice, the executive producer said, whatever you did, it worked. The fans are calling this the most emotional storyline of the season. Spice smiled, shaking her head. I didn't do nothing.
They just remembered who they were. The producer laughed.
Well, whatever it was, you saved our show.
But Spice wasn't thinking about the show. She was thinking about legacy.
About what it means for women in this industry to fight for each other instead of against each other. Because for once, Atlanta wasn't trending for chaos. It was trending for growth. That same night, Yandy posted a photo on Instagram. A picture of her and Rasheeda sitting side by side at the cafe, laughing with tears in their eyes. The caption read, "Real friendship isn't about never fighting. It's about finding your way back after the storm."
Red Heart Hash.
The post exploded, thousands of comments in minutes. This is the Yandy and Rasheeda we love. Spice really brought the sisters back together. This season of ATL hitting different. It feels real.
But what no one knew was that the story wasn't over.
Because sometimes, when you open old wounds, you uncover secrets you didn't know still existed. And one of those secrets was about to test everything they just rebuilt. A week had passed since Yandy and Rasheeda made peace. The city had moved on. Or at least, it looked that way.
Fans were celebrating their reunion.
Bloggers were calling it the healing moment ATL needed. But behind the smiles and social media posts, something darker was brewing. Because sometimes, when you fix what's broken, you start to see the cracks you missed.
It started with a phone call.
Yandy was in her dressing room, getting ready for a new promo shoot, when her phone buzzed with an unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. Hello. The voice on the other end was low, careful, familiar. Yandy, it's Jasmine. Yandy froze. The name alone carried weight. Jasmine, the woman who'd once been tangled in Kirk and Rasheeda's biggest scandal. What do you want, Jasmine? Yandy asked, her tone calm but sharp. I didn't want to call, Jasmine said quickly. But you need to know something. It's about Rasheeda. About that night. Yandy's heartbeat quickened.
What night?
The night of the fight.
The one Spice talked about.
Rasheeda didn't tell you everything. Yandy frowned, her voice low. What are you talking about?
Jasmine hesitated. Ask her who she was really arguing with before you walked in. It wasn't you, Yandy. It was me. Click. The call ended.
Yandy just sat there, staring into the mirror. Her reflection looked calm, but her thoughts were anything but. Hours later, Yandy met with Spice at her studio. Spice, she said quietly. Jasmine called me.
Spice raised an eyebrow. Jasmine?
Girl, you better not be entertaining that. I wasn't, Yandy said. But she said something strange. She said she was with Rasheeda the night of the fight. That they argued, not me and her.
Spice frowned.
That don't make sense. Rasheeda said she came straight to the party.
That's what I thought, Yandy replied.
But Jasmine swears she saw Rasheeda outside before I even got there.
The room went silent. The music equipment hummed faintly in the background.
Yandy, Spice finally said, you sure this ain't Jasmine trying to stir the pot again? You know she's been chasing headlines.
Yandy sighed. I don't know, Spice. But something about it felt real.
And if Rasheeda's been hiding something, I need to hear it from her.
Spice looked uneasy. Just don't let the past pull you all back into that mess.
You both came too far. But Yandy couldn't shake the feeling that maybe forgiveness had come too soon. The next evening, Yandy showed up at Rasheeda's boutique unannounced. The store was empty except for Rasheeda, who was closing out the register. When she saw Yandy walk in, she smiled. But that smile faded fast when she saw the look on Yandy's face.
We need to talk, Yandy said. Rasheeda sighed, setting down the papers.
What's wrong now? I got a call today, from Jasmine. Rasheeda's eyes flickered, just for a second, but Yandy caught it. Jasmine?
Rasheeda repeated carefully. What did she say? She said she was with you that night. Before the fight.
Said y'all argued before I even got there.
Rasheeda went quiet. Tell me she's lying, Yandy said softly.
Tell me this isn't another secret waiting to explode.
Rasheeda looked down, her hands trembling slightly. It wasn't what it sounds like.
Then what was it?
Yandy pressed. Rasheeda took a deep breath. She showed up uninvited. Said she needed to talk.
She had some old messages from Kirk, ones I never saw. She was trying to prove something, trying to tell me the past wasn't over. I lost it.
I told her to leave. We yelled.
And then you walked in, right when my emotions were already breaking. Yandy's expression softened, but her voice was firm. So you weren't really mad at me that night?
Rasheeda shook her head. No. I was mad at everything.
At the lies, the memories, the pain I thought I'd buried. You just walked in at the wrong moment. Yandy exhaled slowly, her anger fading into understanding.
You should have told me, she said quietly.
You didn't have to carry that alone.
Rasheeda nodded. I know. I just didn't want to look weak.
Everyone sees me as this strong woman, holding it all together. But that night, I wasn't strong. There was a long silence. Then Yandy stepped forward and pulled her into a hug. You don't have to be strong all the time, Rasheeda.
Not with me.
For a moment, the world outside disappeared. The lights, the noise, the cameras. Just two women standing in the truth, finally free from everything unsaid. Later that night, Spice received a text from Yandy. Everything's clear now.
Jasmine almost ruined it again.
But the truth saved us this time.
Spice smiled and typed back. See?
That's the thing about truth. It might hurt, but it heals deeper than lies ever could. She posted a cryptic message on her Instagram later that night. Peace don't come from silence. It comes from facing the things you were too scared to say. Blue heart. Within minutes, fans were speculating again. Is Spice talking about Yandy and Rasheeda? This season of ATL just keeps getting realer. Finally, real sisterhood on TV. Weeks later, during the Love and Hip Hop ATL reunion special, the tension was gone. No yelling, no walking off stage, just truth. When the host asked Spice what really happened that night, she smiled. I think the cameras caught the fight, she said, but they didn't catch the forgiveness.
And that's what matters most. Rasheeda nodded. We all got our stories.
But we don't have to let our scars define us. And Yandy added quietly, sometimes the hardest part of love is learning to trust it again.
The audience clapped.
Even the crew, usually silent, nodded in quiet respect.
Because this wasn't just another storyline. It was real.
That night, when the lights went down and the cameras stopped rolling, Yandy, Rasheeda, and Spice walked out together, laughing, tired, but stronger than before. As they stepped into the Atlanta night, Spice whispered with a smile, now that's the story they didn't show. And maybe that's what made it beautiful. Not the fights, not the gossip, but the way three women turned pain into power and secrets into strength.
Because in the end, what the world saw was the drama.
But what really happened was healing. And that is what the cameras didn't show. Behind every headline, every fight, and every viral clip, there's a heartbeat. There's a truth that doesn't always make it to television. Yandy, Rasheeda, And Spice reminded the world that real strength isn't about staying perfect in front of the lights, it's about being real when the lights go off. It's about saying, "I was hurt," instead of pretending you're fine. It's about forgiving when your pride says don't. Because in a city like Atlanta, where fame burns bright and betrayal hides in the shadows, choosing peace is the loudest thing you can do. And maybe that's what makes this story so powerful. It's not just about who said what, or who fought who. It's about how they came back from it, how three women, scarred but unbroken, turned their pain into something the world could learn from. So the next time you see a headline that screams drama, remember this: sometimes the real story isn't in the fight.
It's in the forgiveness.
Explosion symbol if you felt this story, if it made you pause, think, or even tear up, then hit that like button and subscribe to the Story Vault. Because here, we don't just talk about what happened.
We uncover what it meant.
Stay tuned, because the next chapter in Atlanta's story is about to get even deeper. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.